Hello, welcome back to Passion for Fashion. This is our last lesson and we're going to break it down into two parts, a drawing part and a making part. Let's get started. Let's check what we need to get started and make sure we have all the right equipment. You will need today some A3 or A4 paper, sharp grey lead, your oil pastels, your special papers, a glue stick and scissors. And we're ready to go. So today we're going to add the ultimate fashion accessory, a dog. So I love dogs. And we're going to begin by just practicing sketching dogs. So this is part one, drawing. Now when you draw anything, the best thing to do is to break it down into its most simple shapes. And we're going to make a sketch page of practicing our dogs before we get started. So take your pencil, and you can do this in a sketchbook or on paper, and you can draw as many as you like. I'm going to give you some helpful hints to get started. So first of all, we're going to be drawing the dog's face, probably profile. So we want to break his head down into some simple shapes. So we're going to start off with a circle and almost like a semicircle, like that, but open. And now we're going to put those two shapes together, the circle and just join that together, and there you've got your little dog's face. So if I put an eye here, and then there's his ear, and you can see him coming to life. Okay, that was easy. So what happens if your dog's looking at you from front on? So you have profile, which is the side, and front on. So let's do a front on dog. So we're going to start with a, almost like a W. And then a V at the top, and then you just add his nostrils. Eyes and ears, and they can be pointy or they can be floppy. And then with the eye, I just leave a little bit of white and colour it in. Two little white dots and colour it in. And then just fill in the spaces around. You put some whiskers, little dots, hair, and there we have our dog's face. So now let's look at, we've got a face, we've got this profile, let's try the body. So here's my circle. I'm going to keep with this simple formula and the semicircle. I'm going to give him pointy ears, and the body I'm going to do an oval. The tail's going to go up, and the legs. And all you do now is change the shapes and the sizes. I'll show you. So now I'm going to do my circle, but my semicircle is smaller. I'm going to do a square for the body, and now I'm going to join it all together. And I'm going to floppy ears, a tail that goes down. I was looking a bit like an elephant. Okay, so there's my other dog. Okay, I don't like that one, so I draw it again. So there's his nose, his head. I'm going to do a long rectangle shape. Does that work better? Leg, leg. That works better, doesn't it? And my pointy ears. And then I just put the eye and the nose is already smiling. Okay, so that's sort of how I'm going to approach my dog on the side. And now I'm going to use the front face, and I'm going to have my dog sitting. So when I have my dog sitting, I'm going to do his body. And I've just made a sort of a large let's see, semicircle sort of shape there. Now the leg, the easiest way I can do the leg is a back to front number 2. So I go around. So there's your number 2 and there's your number 2 back to front. So around, and then that becomes the foot. Tail goes up, and now I get to do that face at the front. So I'm doing my W, and then I do my little V and turn that into a nose. A little lip at the bottom, or chin, and his eyes, and then the ears if I want floppy ears. And you can see a second leg coming out, and then you can even put his paws. So that's sort of my dog sitting at the front. And then what you do is you practice and you play with that. So I am now going to practice and play with that. So I'm going to do another style of head. This one's like a pear, an upside down pear. And his nose, I'm going to give him a big spot around his eye. His ears are going to flap out. And there's his body, that backward number 2, a little curly tail, and his little arms. And there's another dog. Okay, so let's see, what else can I do? And you just keep practicing and practicing. Like I've practiced a whole sheet of dogs here. This one I was adding colour, and I just played and played with my dogs till I felt more confident in drawing the dogs. So that's what I'd like you to do. Go and make a few pages of colouring dogs, just working out what shapes go together. If it doesn't work, you don't worry, you move on to the next one, and you just keep drawing and drawing. If you're having a really hard time, it is always a good idea to get a photograph of a real dog, or if you have a dog, look at your dog and draw from looking at something. That's called observational drawing. So you could get a photograph, or your dog might be sitting there, and then that might make it a little easier. So try those simple shape techniques and have fun, and then come back and do part 2. Welcome back to part 2. So this time we're going to give our dog an outfit, because we're going to be adding the dog to our fashion person. So first of all, let's just do a dog. It's quite simple. So get your paper just like we did before and tear a shape. So there's my shape, and I'm going to turn the shape around and work out which direction I want it. Do I want my dog sitting up, or do I want him walking? Right, this dog's going to be walking. So now the neck part's quite important. That's going to be the neck, and it's quite wide, so I'm going to make it a bit smaller. Okay, that makes it a little bit easier for me. And then I'm going to glue that down. Just get a scrap piece of paper to glue on. So I can go right over those edges, because the gluing only looks good if it's done properly. And I'm going to glue that down. I just put my paper over the top and give that a bit of a rub. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to use oil pastel now, and I'm going to draw that dog-shaped face. His ears are coming up. He's going to have a tail that comes down. And he's going to have little leggies coming out. And just like we did with our fashion models, now we get our grey lead pencil and we put in those details. So there's my little W there, and I'm going to do little bits of hair there, and he's going to have his nose, nostrils. there, his little eye and his ear. I might do a bit of fur, paw. Doesn't matter if you don't, I've gone outside the lines of my pastel, but I quite like that, so that's fine. And his tail is a little bit hairy, so I'm going to draw the hair and draw some hairs here. I'm going to give him a red collar with an oil pastel. He's got his special outfit on. Maybe a little tag, and then the leash, which will go to the owner. I can also, this might be a girl dog, so she might have a ribbon in her hair. Or she might have a hat. I might make a little ribbon for her by just cutting that shape out. Okay, and gluing that down. Okay, there we go. And she has a little ribbon. And then I'd probably give her a little bit more fur and might colour that nose in. And there's my little dog. So now I'm going to add a dog with one of my models. Model ready to go. Very, very fashionable there. I'm going to tear my paper. I'm going to try to match the yellows. Now, if I want this lighter, and I do want this a little bit lighter, I'm actually going to take my white and draw over the top and blend the brown in, and that makes it lighter. The reason why I want it lighter is because I want to be able to see my grey lead easier, so the lighter it is, the grey lead will stand out a bit more. Okay, now I'm going to get my grey lead. Pop that eye in, or you can actually also use a black pastel, so just pop that eye there, it's a bit darker, the nose. And my dog's going to sort of smile, go around the edges, add some fur. Okay, and one more thing that you can do as well is you can take your grey lead, and I'm just going to draw the ground under her feet and under the dog, and get my finger and just smudge that in. A bit of the oil pastel is smudged there too, which is fine. And I actually might add another foot coming out. That looks better. Put that white back on. Go around it with grey lead. And what do I need? I need a lead, so from her hand to the neck. And I might do that red collar again, just going over that coat. A red collar, and I am happy. So I have my fashionable model and her fashionable pet. I've just put the ground, that makes a big difference, I think. Okay, So let's think about what we've done. We've done all this amazing work together. You should have your fashion models, hats, handbags, scarves. You can add belts, buttons, and you can layer and add and do as much or as little as you want. And then of course you can add that fashionable pet. And how do you present your work? How do you work it out? Well, if you are going to be a fashion designer, you might want to create a fashion folio, and you might want to put your work under different titles such as day wear, evening wear, sports wear, casual wear, and you can make up a whole folio and range of outfits. I can see it now. It's going to be fabulous. Good luck. I hope you really enjoyed this. I enjoyed working with you, and get designing. Don't forget, we have loads of other classes. Please join us, and we'll see you soon with Art Friends. Bye.